20 more days until spring training 2020 kicks off, with Toronto's pitchers and catchers set to report on February 12th, joined by Jays insider Ben Nicholson-Smith. And this week, Ben, we're going to take a deeper dive into individual players that you feel could have huge breakout seasons, and who better to start with than Vlad Guerrero Jr., because it feels like the sky's the limit for this kid.
Oh, exactly. I mean, you look at the combination of power that he has, coordination, plate discipline, it's pretty incredible. And I think he showed that as a 20-year-old, but man, as he enters his age 21 season, I think even bigger things are ahead for Vlad Jr. And part of that is going to come down to pitch selection. If he's able to identify pitches that he can drive and do a better job of choosing those pitches, then we're going to see fewer ground balls, which was a problem for him in his rookie season. We'll see more line drives, more fly balls. And when he taps into that power, it's just, I mean, it's so impressive. We saw it at the home run derby. We saw it in flashes in games, and I think there's a lot more to come for Vladdy in 2020.
Yeah, find that consistency to deliver it all the time. Someone else I think that will be itching to make an impression is Jays' top prospect, Nate Pearson. When your fastball is described as atomic, that's probably a pretty good thing.
Yeah, that's a great sign for Pearson and for the Jays. And I think this will be the year that we get our first glimpse of Pearson. He's likely to start the season in AAA, but with a strong couple of months, I do think that he could reach the Major League rotation, even though that rotation has filled up with the additions of Tanner Roark and Chase Anderson and, of course, Hyunjin Ryu. There's going to be room. There's always room for top prospects, and Pearson's someone who should be able to force himself into that mix in Toronto. So once he does get here, I mean, you can't say that he's instantly going to be their best pitcher, because even a guy like Garrett Cole took time to adjust. You can't assume that he's instantly going to be a finished product, but he has so many weapons that other pitchers simply don't have, and that should allow him, in my opinion, to be at least toward the top of the Blue Jays rotation from the instant that he arrives.
Speaking of the rotation, Toronto should have more stability there this season, and that could do wonders for a guy like Danny Jansen, who might be able to focus a little bit more on what he can do at the dish.
Well, it's a good point, because Jansen last year, I mean, the responsibilities of a rookie catcher are almost endless, right? You have pitchers meetings, you have hitters meetings, you have to get used to a whole new staff, you're traveling in ways that you haven't before, and you're playing a 6-month season. And that showed for Jansen, who struggled at times, especially early in the season offensively. But I think when you look at his pedigree coming up through the minor leagues, he's someone who has been able to hit, he has a really good batting eye, and I think he has more power than he showed. So to me, he's someone who could take a leap ahead.
Someone who I feel like wasn't getting as much credit as maybe deserved was Teoscar Hernandez, and you think if he can carry that over into this season, we'll see some good things from him.
Yeah, they sent him down. It was toward the end of the spring, and he just really was struggling at the time. His numbers were not good. He looked kind of lost at the plate, and of course his defense is not his calling card. So at that point, he went to AAA, and he was able to really turn things around there in Buffalo. And by the time he came back, he was really effective. And you look at the numbers that he posted for the last 4 months, and particularly over the last second half of the season, from the All-Star break on, he was really good. So there's some optimism internally that he can continue that pace. If he can do that, I mean, he would be a 30-homer hitter with an 850 OPS. Even if he doesn't quite reach that level, there is room for some considerable improvement here.
A better way to round out than with another top prospect for Toronto, that being Jordan Groshans, who has a ton of hype around him but missed nearly all of 2019 to injury. Should be, bar's pretty low at that in that instance.
It is. He struggled in 2019 after a really good start to the season. A foot injury cost him the second half of the year. So it's a little bit uncertain now as he prepares for 2020 what exactly he can offer and how much he'll be able to take the field. But if you look at Baseball America or Fangraphs, MLB Pipeline, they all seem to agree that his ceiling, what he could become as a major leaguer, is really high. So if he is able to stay healthy, he's someone that we could see hit his way to the upper minors this year. And at that point, he's an injury away from a call-up. He's someone who could conceivably be the player who forces Vlad Guerrero Jr. off of third base. If anyone does it, it might be Jordan Groshans, so he's a name to watch.
Big expectations for some big breakouts for numerous Toronto Blue Jays. We'll have to wait and see. Thanks, Ben.
Anytime.